welcome to the Lewis Nichols show in probably the most overdue interview I have ever done, and I'm honestly so excited. Let's say hello to our next guest. It's Grado. How are you?
It's yourself, Lewis. I'm definitely looking forward to this because I know you've been on at me for the last, I don't know, man, it feels like maybe a couple of years. Aye, it does. So I feel bad that I've never ever managed to like fit this in, but I'm definitely ready to go. I've got my Blue Moon beer. I'm going to sip this, a wee half pint of Blue Moon beer. Do you know what? I'll tell you how much I've sort of prepared for this. This is a sort of outbuilding thing where I built it to try and do my podcast, but it ended up snowballing into like a place to put wrestling pictures and wrestling belts and in a bar. So, and it's freezing right up here. I don't know where it is. I don't know what the temperature is down your way, but it's -6, -7. Wow. So I went, do you know what? I'm going to put the heating on a day before. And by the way, it's honestly, see the price to heat this place up, man. It's at the end of the month, it kills me, and I go, oh, why did I leave the heating on? Why did I leave the heating on? But there's a bit of heat in here. I'm a wee bit comfortable, but you know what? To make myself comfortable to speak to Lewis Nichols, the #1 YouTuber.
You know, you're the first person I've interviewed where I've got your own merch.
Hey!
Like, I love it. Got my Grado hat, see? And you signed it.
Oh man. How much did you pay for that?
I don't know, it was worth it though. Not gonna lie.
You see, sometimes, because we met each other at our wrestling convention, right?
Mm.
And it's always quite awkward, like having hats for sale and autographs, and then that process of the fan handing their money and me getting into my bum bag and like, you know what I mean? It's like
you have the bag.
Oh man, I don't like it. I'd rather, do you know what I mean? It's like a really uncomfortable experience. Even though I appreciate the fact that you want to buy a hat, and I do appreciate the dough and all, but it still doesn't feel right.
You were like Kevin Nash with your bum bag. It was brilliant.
Yes, mate. I don't go anywhere without the fanny bag.
Do you know, we've obviously a lot of people watching this will want me obviously to talk about Two Doors Down, and this show just seems to grow every single month. It gets a new audience, but I wanted to go back to the beginning for you, which was obviously you and Michelle Joy joined the show later. Now, in any show, especially when it's well established, that's difficult because the audience have got their favorite characters. It's kind of got a feel to it. So when you add some new characters, that's almost kind of always a difficult thing. What was that like for you joining an established show with the likes of Elaine C. Smith, Johnny Watson? Was that daunting for you?
Do you know what? People might be looking at this and see that I'm typing something in. It's not that I'm being rude. I'm literally opening up my emails because I want to see if I can try and find the email that I got. I remember getting an email. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a professional wrestler, right? And at the time when I was asked to audition in Two Doors Down, I was actually in Orlando, Florida, wrestling for TNA. And I remember waking up and I got an email. And it said, I'm trying to find it just now. I can sort of remember the gist of the email, but it was like, and it came right to me. It didn't go to my agent. It came right for me, and it was, we'd like to welcome you, invite you down to London for an audition for the character Alan. In fact, you know what? I even think it said, pardon me, I'm sure it said, we'd like to audition. Do you know what? I don't even know if it said audition. Do you know that? I felt like I'm sure it said something like
Screen test.
Play the part, or something like that. And I woke up at like 12 p.m. because we'd been out the night before wrestling in Orlando. Now, bear in mind, right? See, Two Doors Down, that was my program. Like legit, at that time I was Two Doors Down daft. And I felt as if at that time, and I'm sure everybody will agree, it was a sort of hidden secret. It wasn't really, you know, you'd put Two Doors Down, you go, what's Two Doors Down? I don't know how the Two Doors Down. But it was my pal that put me onto it. He says, oh, you need to watch Two Doors Down. He says, it's a Scottish comedy. There's Johnny Watson. He jumps about in the Armani gear. You know, he talks about how when he goes on holiday, doesn't he go for Glasgow Airport? He uses Manchester. Just, you know, and it's a character that you can totally relate to. Everybody knows somebody that's, you know, that kind of middle-aged guy that's got a swagger and thinks his shit doesn't stink. And I spoke to my mum about it and I said, Mum, have you heard it? She goes, I love it. I've been watching it, Graham. I've been watching it. I love it. I said, you're joking. I says, when's the next episode? I think it was I don't know if it was on Monday or a Thursday at the time. But either way, that was me and my mum's thing, that we ended up watching Two Doors Down every week. So I got that email, and literally the first thing I done was phone my mum. I was like, Mum, you'll never believe this. You'll never believe this. You'll never believe this. Because bear in mind as well, I had only done so much acting. Like, this is 10 years since I originally started it on Scott Squad. In actual fact, I done a comedy, a pilot before that. It's called The Sunny, but it never got commissioned. It was aired on BBC Scotland, but it was never aired. And I'd done River City, which is a soap up here. But in terms of like getting auditions and stuff like that, you know, I wasn't an actor growing up. It's ever since I done a documentary with BBC about my wrestling career. Ever since that aired, that's when I started to get sort of opportunities to work in the telly. But something like this, I mean, I just picked up the phone. I was like, Mum, you'll never believe this. I was like, I think I've got a part on Two Doors Down. I was like, I don't know if I need to audition or whatever. And she was over the moon, man. Absolutely over the moon. Sorry, I'm not answering your question, right? But I'm just going to keep going. Is that all right?
No, it's incredible. Especially, I didn't realise, because one of the next questions I had was prior to joining, where you were a fan of the show. So to hear that is, what was your mum's reaction?
I mean, she was delighted, over the moon. No to like bring the mood down, but at the time she was really ill with cancer, and this was probably like the August or September. I mean, she was really ill at this point, so her energy wasn't as she didn't have as much energy as what she used to have, but you know, she was excited, and I was buzzing. I went down to this audition and London, and I'll never forget it. I was walking into BBC. I was thinking that I was just there to be like, signing a dotted line type deal. But obviously I was given a script to read, and I remember walking in and seeing an actor called Paul James Corrigan, who's a big soap actor up here. And I walked in, and he looked at me and he went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "You here for the Alan Two Doors Down?" I was like, "Aye." He's like, "Oh, I'm here for that as well." I was like, "Ugh." But we're pals, right? We give each other a cuddle. He went away, and then I sat in. There was Simon Carlisle. There was I can't remember. I think it was Joe, who was the director at the time, and somebody else. And I remember getting in and sitting and doing a test read with one female, another female, and they were both had English accents. They had like Coronation Street accents. Oh, Alan. You know? Oh, Alan. You know, and it was like, I can't remember the exact dialect, but it was like, and it just wasn't feeling right. And then Joy came in.
Nice.
And it was brilliant. And I could see Simon Carlisle, the late and great Simon Carlisle. Do you know that way I looked at him and I went, I've got him. He was pissing himself. And I came out and I went, I was really, really happy with it. Really, really happy with it. And then maybe about 20 minutes later on my Twitter, Simon Carlisle has followed you on Twitter. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So then we go to, it's only one episode. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. But to be honest with you, I couldn't care less. It was like, oh my God, I'm going to be 2 doors down. Right now, I don't care if I'm going to be a full-time. I just can't believe that I've got this opportunity to do this. And I must admit, like you says, walking into that studio and seeing Scottish Titans, by the way, Titans, as in, I'm talking the kings and the queens of Scottish comedy. Elaine C. Smith, Mary Doll, and Ramsey Nisbet. Big Alec Norton, Taggart. An absolute king. Johnny Watson, who I grew up idolising, watching Only an Excuse every new year. Arabella Weir for the Fast Show, Down, who is a legend in her own right. And it was just like, and also Jamie, who I grew up watching, who done a stint on Tuna Fat and then Still Game. So walking in and meeting the cat, it was daunting, but I just enjoyed it, man. I just embraced it. I was just like so in awe. I was so in awe. But so insecure. I'm such an insecure guy. I'm like one of the most... every actor's insecure. I don't care what you say. We're all kind of fucked up in here a wee bit. You know what I mean? I think everybody's quite insecure, but I definitely feel I'm a wee bit insecure. And I need like... I don't know, like... I'm one of these guys that comes back for a wrestling match. And I go, how is it?
Yeah.
Was it good? And I was very much like that when we were filming. But the good thing is, me and Joy came in at the same time, and like we right away we were just like best of pals. You know what I mean? Like, so because she was in an awe as well. I always remember, it's like funny because I remember after the audition, I remember jumping on the subway and I was like, because I didn't know Joy, but I was like, so is this your big break?
Wow.
And she was like, well, I've been in this film, that film, this film. I felt quite embarrassed. You know that way. I felt quite embarrassed. But honestly, Joy, who is absolutely just an absolute diamond and great to work with, and like hodged my hand through everything. So a great experience. The only downside was, and again here it's a bit like, oh, this is quite sad, but my mum ended up passing away before the episode aired. How sad's that?
So she knew that you had got this part. She just didn't get to see the episode.
No. Yes. Aye.
Do you know? I've got to say something to you, which is I don't know if you've seen the interviews that we've done with the other cast, but you mentioned the likes of Elaine, Johnny, and Alex. And if you watch most of them, I think all of them in the interviews at some point have actually said how much they enjoy working with you and how funny you are to work with. And I think it was Elaine said that you have this way of making her laugh quite a lot by doing something. And then she said she can't stop laughing. But
aye, no, that I love hearing that. I love hearing that because, you know, Elaine, who's done everything there is today in terms of entertainment in Scotland, she absolutely idolised her. And my mum idolised her as well. She's just absolutely, she's just the best, man. She's just the best. I genuinely think the Christine character, without a doubt, has to be the best Scottish sitcom character ever. And I mean, I can't say. I mean, I'm only 35. I know those shows but I've went back and watched them, and I love them and stuff like that. But I genuinely think the Christine character is the absolute best. So any sort of like, because I mean, I still get nervous running about her a wee bit. I went to lunch with her because she does pantomime in Glasgow at the King's. I do it in the Pavilion. We met up during rehearsals. And like, I still get like butterflies in my stomach because I'm so in awe. Elaine, so when I hear stuff like that, I love it. So I just everything about Two Doors Down, I absolutely love, man. It's just, I absolutely love the whole experience. It's like gone away for summer camp in the summer to film it, or whether we date in winter. Everybody's just one big family. We laugh, we greet, we argue. It's just a great experience. And what has been nice is the best thing that I think happened for Two Doors Down was lockdown.
Yeah,
because I felt as soon as once, you know, the restrictions started to be lifted and we were back in the street, that's when people started going, oh, Alan and Two Doors Down, and I love Two Doors Down. It got me through lockdown and stuff like that. So the show has just completely grown for, it's just grown to be absolutely massive. And now it's just, you know, there's, you know, for an example, at the pantomime, there was a bit in the opening scene where the baddie is like, I've got two pirate friends, one's from Shield Inch, the other's Two Doors Down, and every night when they said Two Doors Down, the crowd went, way! so I'm standing backstage, the pirate in the wings, and I'm like, yes, it's going to be a good show.
Well, you said that you love Two Doors Down, and now's the time that we've never done it with you yet. You're the last person to do the quiz.
Oh, so, no.
Of course, 10 questions, all about Alan. Joy did really well before Christmas, like unbelievably well. Like, I think she did the best. She beat Doom.
That doesn't surprise me because she's a super fan as well, right?
Yeah. So are you ready? These questions are all about Alan. So
I'm excited about this, right? When you go back.
In your first episode, how did Alan describe Christine's hair?
Like that serial killers.
Yeah.
Who was it? Rosemary West.
Yes. I did not expect you to get that. Wow.
It was either one. It was one of the two. It was one of the two big ones. It was either West or Hindley. Or was it Hindley? Oh, it was Rosemary West.
Yeah, Rose West. Yeah, Rose West. What did Colin accidentally show Alan on his mobile phone when he broke his leg?
His penis.
It was so funny.
Mate, that episode I love. You know the bit where that episode. You know what the bit where Johnny is running out his house, and he throws a woman in the back of a taxi, and he runs up to Eric, and he's, I've just shagged her.
It's so unexpected.
It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. Oh, I love that episode a lot.
Your next one is, What is the name of Alan's friend who is often mentioned but not seen on screen?
Oh, shit. Oh, I need to vape here.
So there's a friend that Alan
I
often
know,
mentions.
Jesus, man. Is it Davey?
Yes!
Oh, wow, man!
How
Oh,
did you? No way!
I'm loving this.
I literally put a little star next to that because I thought that was the question that would get you. Wow. What did Alan allow Eric to do in housewarming, which really annoyed Michelle?
No, I'm not going to get this.
So you allowed Eric to do something out the back when you.
Piss!
That's it. Yes.
Yes! Yes!
4 out of 4.
I love that, no, man. I love that episode as well.
This is difficult. I think again in your first appearance, what drinks did Alan have in Beth's house? So he had 3 drinks. What were they?
Right, so hold on, because there's a note that, because everybody says, is it 3 the same drink?
No.
Right.
Different drinks.
Right, hold on. I've had a Fanta. I've had a, oh no, man, this is where I'm going to make an ass. One of them is Fanta, right?
Yeah.
I've had a Fanta. A coffee? No, a tea!
Yeah.
A tea. I've had a Fanta, a tea, and I've had a tea.
And to give you a clue, the next one you were offered when Colin arrived. So that will kind of give you a clue.
Is it a beer?
Yes.
Yeah!
Oh my god. Question number 6. What did Alan give to Ian and Gordon that resulted in Gordon behaving really odd?
Shit, a joint.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna have a record.
Come on.
What did Alan temporarily lose, which caused his brother Michael to panic?
The wedding ring.
Yes.
Yes.
Where did Alan and Michelle get married?
Vegas.
Yes. This is got to be one of my favorite scenes from Alan. In housewarming, what gift was Alan hoping not to receive again?
Shit.
So you were going to be given something. You said, "I hope it's not another
candle."
Yes.
Wow.
The line I think was because it's like the fucking chapel.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite lines.
To get full points. Now this one is the most difficult question on any of the quizzes.
Right? Are you serious?
Can you tell me what your family bundle of donuts were?
Oh my god! You know what? How weird's this? Right? How weird's this? So I'm on Cameo.
Yeah.
Right. And you know how people have like their own way, like their own stick. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I started doing the whole if it was somebody's birthday, I'm gonna have I was dating sort of Alan style or whatever, and go to celebrate your birthday, I'm gonna have 2 plain rings, right? I don't know. Here's the deal right now, but I had it written down. Now last night, I was like, I'm so bad for getting cameos done in time. There was literally like 15 minutes left, and I had to wing it, and I definitely didn't do it right. But if I take my time, I reckon I can get this.
Go on then. So you got the first was correct. 2 plain rings.
Right, two plain rings. Right, 2 chocolate dreamies. I don't need to get an order. Come on.
Yeah, that's fine. 2 chocolate dreamies.
Right. 2 fudge sundaes.
Yes.
Right, there's 2 apple pie.
Yeah.
1 caramel and custard.
Yeah.
1 white chocolate cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
What else have I got to do?
There's just one more. There's 2. So 2.
2 plain rings. Did I say that? Oh, fuck.
It was 2, and it's just a fruit.
Don't tell me. What is it? What was the clue?
It's a fruit flavor.
It's a fruit flavor. No, don't 2 plain rings.
So you got 2 plain rings, 2 fudge sundaes, 2 chocolate dreamies, 2 apple pie, 1 white chocolate cheesecake, 1 caramel custard, and 2.
Oh my! Is it raspberry? No.
That's a record. You've won the record there.
Wow, man.
Question.
Oh, mate, that was class, man. Do you know what? I love stuff like this.
I can't believe you got every single one right, and you had the hardest questions out of anybody.
But like that was an absolute kill to learn. That was like one of the ones where, like, it's like, something because there's so many setups, there's so many takes and toodles down. I'm sure, You've heard the cast say that, like, literally, if there's a 3-minute scene, we hammer that for 12 hours. You know what I mean? And it can get to the point where it's like 10 to 7 and it's no matter, and I've got 10 minutes to try and nail it. And man, it was like total two plain rings, two apple pie, two stuff, and honestly, it was a nightmare. And people and the cast are going, "You're all right, it's fine," because I get making an ass. It's fine, just take your time. And I'm like, "Don't I know they're like fucking hurry up?"
Do you know the episode for me that it was one of those episodes when I watched it for the first time, I kind of thought, wow, that they're still doing stuff like this on TV, but in a good way. And it was Housewarming when they introduced Louise, because some of the lines that came out in that episode, I mean, there was a line where Kathy said, "Oh, is she seeing someone at the moment?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Good job, because she can't fucking hear them." And you're like, you don't know if you're allowed to laugh or not.
Oh, I know. You know what? And there's a bit. My favourite line in that episode is when I try to do the sign language, and I'm going like that, and then I go, "Ugh, I'm shit at it."
Yeah, and Colin going out to have a nosy at the deck-in. And I think it's Christine's reaction as well when she's clicking her thing. Got you. All big subtitles, all big singing for you.
Oh, I love it, man. And then she came back, man. She was great. She was good, man.
Oh, I think it was Christine as well, where she goes, "I've never met a deaf person, but I've shared a table with a wee Down syndrome." And it's just, you don't know if you're allowed to laugh.
No, I know. There is stuff where I go, "But we date," and then it's like, that's not going to make it, that's not going to make it. And then it makes it, and you go, "Oh, wow." Although, I'm sure there was, like, in that later series, I'm sure we done 2 versions. The bit where, do you remember when I first come in the first episode and I say, "Pedo scum"?
Yeah.
Did I say "Pedo scum GTF"?
Yeah.
Well, the original line was "Pedo scum get to fuck," and I love the way I said "get to fuck." They said "Pedo scum get to fuck," but they went just in case, because you know that there is like a fuck limit.
Okay, so you had to change it.
So you know what I mean? There's some, like, sometimes they'll go, "There's too many fucks in the episode, so we need to take some."
Isn't that for BBC One? It's fine on BBC Two, but BBC One.
Oh God, I don't know. Is that right? Is it?
I'm sure. I think it was Johnny told me that due to it moving on to BBC One, they had to reduce the amount of, like you said, the word "fuck."
I don't know, man. But Johnny, but by the way, like, Christina is my favourite character of all time. But see Collins as well. Johnny Watson is an absolute mastermind. I love watching him act. He's just the best, man. He's a good Rangers man and all. So there you go.
What was it like when you watched the scene where him and Kathy were reenacting the dance they did at their wedding? Because it's the most cringy thing to see.
Unreal. It was unreal. It was just, that again was one of the ones where, like, they had to do that for 12 hours straight, and on, the 12th hour of that being filmed, it was still hilarious. It was still corpse, and like, this is just the best stuff ever. So they two are just the best, man. And you know that way, like, we never had Kathy there for a season, and we had Siobhan, which was superb. Like, she stepped up, and I thought it was an absolute tremendous character. But you know that way, like that last series there, where she comes in, and you know what, that way, the energy in the room just completely was like, she's back, man.
Yeah. And
she just shit hot. They're all shit hot. Arabella's shit. What I always say is, because you don't understand, right? Doing in Arabella's accents are English accents.
It threw me when I first interviewed them. It was like, wait.
Aye. Mate, it threw me in real life when I met them. I went, what the fuck? And I was like, for them, because as a Scottish person, so many people, I mean, don't get me wrong, they say that they're Scottish, they were born in Scotland, but for them, they absolutely nail that accent. That's why I think Arabella's one of the best. They're all the best actresses, and I'm not just saying this to kiss their ass, but they are the best, they're the creme de la creme.
I want to ask you, do you have a favourite episode or a favourite scene that always jumps out to you as your time in the show?
I tell you what, there's a scene, it's not even a scene, but it's so ridiculous. I think it's like the first or second episode of the full entire, like, series. and it's so daft, but it was one of the ones was like that. I always go to it because it was because I was hooked. Was when Christine's sitting and she's talking about how she's got a ringing in her ear.
Yeah.
And Colin goes, "You've got a ringing in your ear. Oh, you should give your doctor a bell." and she goes, "You bastard." And I don't know, there's something about that. I'm like, it's so, like, I don't know, that it's the one where I always fast forward to it. It just makes me laugh and smile. But in terms of myself, is that what you're asking, if there's anything?
By the way, that impression of Colin is the best I've seen. You've nailed Johnny down. That's incredible.
Right, what's good that I've done? What's good that I've been done? I'm trying to think. Come on, man. I knew you'd ask me stuff like this, and I can't think.
I just like it when Alan's kind of inappropriate. I think there was one where he said to Eric, where he said, "Do you know, because you're quite old, I thought you might actually take a stroke."
I love stuff like that. You know, there was one line that cracked everybody up. Well, not everybody, but one of the camera operators, Roy, was just like, every time, like, there's like ongoing chatter about something, and somebody mentions such and such, somebody's pal Davey. No, my pal Davey, but Davey I just who? Jump in, Davey who? Davey who? Random. Aye, man, so random, but I love it. I love it. I really don't know, but I mean, I love Alan's book. I was proud of myself watching that back. I liked watching that back.
I want to talk about your kind of love for wrestling, because, you know, a lot of people, I know you as a wrestler as well, and I think a lot of people do. So when did you kind of first fall in love with wrestling? Was it something you loved watching when you were growing up?
You know what? I was a latecomer to professional wrestling in terms of, like, all my pals at primary school were, you know, they're 8, 9, and I would always say it was one lot of shit. Well, I wouldn't say that, but the thing that got me into wrestling was The Rock. The tail end of 1999, as soon as I saw The Rock, I went, he is my guy. He is the man. I mean, The Rock is my ultimate. See, you know, a couple of weeks ago when The Rock turned up on Raw,
yes, and
he said head of the table. Well, I got this a 16-minute segment on Raw, and Stephen Purdon, who plays Shellsuit Bob in River City, is one of my best mates. I made him watch that in the pantomime dressing room, and he just couldn't believe that the passion. I was just jumping up and down like I was 12 again. You know what I mean? When he was hitting these catchphrases. So The Rock was my guy, man, and I just became obsessed with wrestling so quick. And that was like, what was that year, 1999? By 2002, I was on the internet and I was getting tapes sent for Japan, America. You know, NWA debuted in June the 19th. I had a hookup where I got that video sent, because, you know, there was no streaming back then. That was sent to me like within 4 days. It was in Scotland, and I always say I was the first ever guy to watch TNA in Scotland, right? I mean, I was obsessed with it. I've had my first training session May 2002. Jake the Snake Roberts took me for a training session in an East Kilbride post office in August of 2002. Wow. So random, man. But the guy, which I can't really talk about because he's a bad man. You probably know what I'm. Aye, we don't talk about the guy that originally trained me, right? He's one of the ones, you get what I mean? Talking about Lewis.
Wow.
Right, so he was a postman, and he hired like Jake the Snake Roberts to come to this post office in East Kilbride that had like a big open area, and he came and taught us how to lock up, taught us how to punch. I made my wrestling debut in 2004, which is 20 years this year, in April of 2004. Mate, it's my life. Although in the last couple of years, it's kind of, ever since, because I worked for a company in America called Impact Wrestling. I was signed for 2014 to 2018. So I had an American visa, and I was going monthly back and forward to the States to do the tapings. And it was just the best time of my life. And when my contract expired, it wasn't renewed, and my visa sort of expired. I kind of fell away from it, you know what I mean? And then lockdown happened, so it's been hard to get back into it. However, don't know if you saw me last year at Wembley Stadium.
Or to AEW. That was I tell you what, you got a hell of a pop from the crowd. Did you expect that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it was like a whole deal where, because that was all very last minute. Like, I got in trouble for saying too much in another interview, because I went on an interview the day after that and like started probably saying too much. But what I will say is, like that was a last minute thing for me to go down there and go down to Wembley. That was
And
really last.
Tom made that happen, didn't he?
Oh mate, Tom Campbell
Yeah,
he was a guy.
he made that happen. And
He
yeah,
totally made that happen. He got like a get Grado booked type deal thing happen, and then and even that segment on the show was literally booked like an hour before we went on air.
wow.
And you know, I'm starting, and I met the Big Show so I came out to the ring with the Big Show and what's his name, Anthony Agogo, and so I'm literally standing behind the curtain. Well, it's not a curtain, but it was like the screens. And like I'm like that, shaking the Big Show's hand, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Grado. I'm going to be the guy in your segment." And he's like, "He not so much like that, but that sort of vibe." You know what I mean? And me and Agogo, and we're standing there, and I never got my entrance music like a prayer, which is a long, long story. However, there was that moment where Agogo and Big Show walk forward, and they point back, and my name comes up on the screen. And mate, I'm not joking. The place just went, ah, and all I could do was just run through. And I tried to embrace it as much as possible because back in the day, I wrestled Drew McIntyre in front of 5,000 people for the ICW title in 2015, and I never ever embraced stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like at the time, I never tried to soak it in, but I did remember being in Wembley and there was 60,000 people there, or whatever it was, 70, 80, who would you speak to? But it was just, I'm on the top of the ropes, so I just tried to embrace everything, man. It was just the best.
Did the Big Show, when you went back afterwards, obviously him hearing you receive that pop, did he speak to you about that? And was like, hang on a minute, what's this about?
You got a bigger pop than me, kid.
Is that what he said?
That's exactly what he said.
Wow.
And then he followed me right away and he sent me a lovely DM, and man, it was just a magical, magical experience. And 90% of the roster backstage, I knew them anyway, because a lot of them had worked with them in the Indies, or I'd worked with them in TNA. It was all the TNA like production crew who I hadn't seen for years. So it was just like the best day, meeting pals that I hadn't seen for years. And that will definitely go down as like one of the best days of my life, without a doubt. But I want to wrestle Jeff Jarrett at this year's Wembley, which would be quite good. But
are you going to go back to AEW? Because obviously they've seen the reaction that you got. Surely it's the most obvious move.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'd love to. I always laugh when people go, would you go back to WWE, or would you go, no WWE, but would you go to WWE? It's like, of course, I'd love to do in wrestling. So here's the deal, right? Acting is like, I love it. You really, like, you learn so much in terms of when you go back to wrestling. There's so much, like, in terms of etiquette and stuff like that, but that's a different subject. However, acting's such a buzz, and it's like, I'm so proud that I get to these opportunities and I get to learn from amazing actors, but there's nothing beats wrestling in front of a live audience. That is still my number one.
Obviously, for those watching who don't necessarily watch wrestling, each wrestler kind of has a character or a gimmick, and yours is very comedic. Now, obviously, we see you in a lot of comedy shows as an actor. So is that kind of where your comfort and your happiness is, in playing that comedy role? Does it kind of allow you to be someone else for a little bit?
Well, it's funny you say that, because quite a lot, when I'm in the ring, I feel like I'm just myself. And I know that sounds daft. Like it's maybe me turned up to 11.
Yeah.
I'm quite camp in the ring. when I go back and watch it, I go, what am I doing? Like, shaking the old bum and, that kind of, I'm actually quite camp in the ring. It's absurd when I watch it back. So I love doing that. I love, I just, gone for it. But, I would say that's probably because I'm not camping in real life, unfortunately. But I don't know. There's just so the comedy style was a hell of a lot easier for me, because if I have to wrestle for real, there's a couple of times there's a big. So when you're a babyface, quite a lot of the time, you're doing a lot of selling. You're doing a lot of selling. Making the moves look, as if they're having a physical effect on you, and it's easy for me to sell and get sympathy. Whereas if the shoe was in the other foot, which I've worked playing a bad guy once or twice, and I cannot do it. I'm so out of my comfort zone. I wrestled Scotty Too Hotty in Aberdeen at a time where I probably wasn't as big as what I ended up being. So I had to kind of sort of play the role of the bad guy, and man, I was blowing out my farter, because you're because you're the guy that's controlling it. You're the guy that's staying in the moves, mate. And I was honestly like a fish out of water. I was gasping, mate. And see, I'm honest with you, a lot of the times I'm gasping for that entrance that I did, that like a prayer entrance. I mean, I always say to the promoter, please let me go out first. And the promoter's like, but why you're the second guy? Like, you're the big, I know. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I need to get my breath back for fucking dancing.
Do you know, I want to talk about your entrance because I often, when I interview, say, pop stars and stuff that, you know, appeared in Live Aid and stuff, and I always ask them, what is it like when you hear a crowd sing your song back? But then when you hear your reactions, when you go out to
like a
Madonna, it baffles me with just the whole audience, the eruption that you get from the intro, and then them singing along to the song. I mean, did you ever anticipate that you would connect with the crowd as much as you have?
Well, I did remember when you know, it'd have been, well, I started using it in 2012, and I was you can't remember trying to pick my music, and the version that I used for the ring is not the Madonna version. It's a kind of, you remember when Spotify first came out,
Yeah.
and there would be a lot of artists hadn't actually signed up to be on Spotify, so they would have like bootleg artists. They'd have like bootleg songs. I don't know if you ever remember that. So there was like so the version that I use is a bootleg version of the Glee cover. Remember Glee?
Yeah, so that's what.
Right. And I went, that's the one, and I just knew that people would go nuts for it. But that was a time where, you know, there wasn't a lot of pop music used as entrance music in wrestling. You know, 95% of the music was, you know, Disturbed, Metallica, and heavy metal music. So it was a sort of a break for the norm. It was a different entrance. So, and a lot of the time, you need to remember that I debuted for ICW, which was a company, or it still is a company, in Glasgow, where it's 500, 600, 700, 800 drunk Glaswegians who have been out all day. So they're going to sing every single bit of that song. They're going nuts for it. So then when the internet sees that, you know, a lot of fans will go, oh, I'd love to see that live.
Yeah.
When they did see it live, they would go nuts. But there is no better feeling than coming out. I don't get mad. I can't get away with it. It's like, you know, sometimes I go in the supermarket and like I'm walking about and I hear "Life is amazing," and you can see like a guy with like the headset who's stacking a shelf, and he's like, he's obviously saying, "Can you play like?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking at him going, "Hey, you go, big man." I can't escape when I go to weddings, when I go to parties. It's like life is, and it's like when you go Grado, and I've got to fucking go. Well, I kid on that. I hate it. Jack Jester tells a story. Like, we went to a karaoke bar in Glasgow last year, and I can't remember what song I decided I was going to sing. It was like Marvin Gaye, "Ain't No Sunshine," and I went, see if that, because the DJ went, "Oh, Grado's in the house," and I was like, no, but I was like, oh, and I was like, if they play Like a Prayer, I'm going to get off my nut. And they're like, no, I went, I fucking swear if they play Like a Prayer, life is I did that walk, you know, that Peter Kay walk where I'm like slowing in a vessel, you know, I fucking love it, walking on stage. Get off my nut. Oh man, I love it. Although I would love for it to be at Wembley and it could be licensed, and you know,
that's what I was going to ask. How come you can't use the Madonna version? Is it just a licensing issue?
Oh man, it never has been the Madonna version. I've never liked the Madonna version, but
okay.
you need to get, it doesn't matter who covers it, right? Madonna's the top dog. Here's the deal. When I wrestled for TNA for the first time, I had done British Boot Camp, which is a reality series, and I wrestled a couple of times in America, and they give you like generic music, that's fine. But my first ever proper match with TNA in terms of it was on Impact and stuff like that was at the Hydro in Glasgow, Grado versus Al Snow. And for the house we played Like a Prayer, thinking, right, this is never going to be allowed to be on, I can't remember if it was Spike TV or Pop TV at the time, and Charles TV in the UK, but in America it was one of the networks. So Like a Prayer, I use it, the place goes nuts, it's great. And then like a week before it's aired, because I'm like, fuck man, that's obviously going to be dubbed, right? Then a week before, Jeremy Borash for TNA emails me and he goes, I think we're going to get to play, I think like they're going to show the version on the television show We Like a Prayer. I'm like, you're joking? He's like, no, like there's some sort of, we've managed to work it out with the network and da-da-da-da. Like it's happening, it's going to happen. And then the day before or 2 days before it aired, TNA got an email from, I can't remember, Universal Music or something, you know, one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like, the following request to use Like a Prayer on TNA Wrestling has been denied by colon or whatever you call it, Madonna.
Wow.
So apparently she's the like in charge of like her songs. She has the final say in terms of how her music is used. So I got right on the internet and done the hashtag Say Yes Madonna. And I done a video where I was like, please Madonna, please let me use your song on TNA Wrestling this Friday night on Spiked Pop TV, blah, 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 blah. So that ends up trending UK, ends up trending, I don't know if it went worldwide. Fuck it, we'll say it went worldwide. Other news companies were like contacting me. I remember that weekend I was going to wrestle in Canada. I turned up at Glasgow Airport and the STV News were there waiting on me. Like, any update on Madonna? And I was like, no. She was supposed to be on Jonathan Ross that weekend. So Jonathan Ross is getting absolutely pestered. He's getting nailed on Twitter. Please ask Madonna about Grado. Please ask Madonna about Grado. And Jonathan Ross DM'd me on Twitter. And he said, look, I'm getting a lot of shit about you, for your fans. He says, if there's any time, I will ask her. In fact, it couldn't have been that weekend, right? Because see, the following week, she fell in her arse at the Bratwards?
Yeah. I remember that.
And so like after that, he was like, "Oh no, we've got no chance now." And I ended up in like the front of the Daily Record the next day. There was like the big headline, of course, on the front page, but up the top, you know, they always get the top banner.
Yeah.
Tabloids. And it was like a picture of me with like a hood. Because remember, it was like a hooded person had pulled Madonna. And it was like me, like with a hood. And it was like Grado denies fucking whatever Madonna. Loose Women were wanting to get me on, but I couldn't get on because of I was going on the flight to Canada. What I should have done in hindsight was I should have done that whole get that song to #1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think we would have made good noise out of that. But anyway, long story short, I never got the song and I had to make me like a new wrestling entrance song, which was like a sort of rip-off of Like a Prayer, but nowhere near as good.
Do you know, a lot of people don't know just how kind of busy you are because, you know, we tried to make this work last year, but I mean, you do panto, you host radio every single morning. I mean, you just don't stop. I mean, what does your kind of working day, because I know you said panto stopped now for you. And that was.
Anyway, quick shout out to Sherry Ann, Anton Daniluk's mum, for giving me this vape yesterday on the radio. I'm still puffing it.
What does she make her own vapes or something?
Well, she's got. So I'm obsessed with you. This is really bad, right? But so I mean, this is really bad. So there's a Crystal Bar, right? Crystal Bar have 600 puffs, right? I go through 4 of these a day. I'm £20 a day on vapes. It's absurd. Right? I do my breakfast show, and by the end of my breakfast show on the radio, I've gone through 1 vape. Then between 10 and 2, I've done another. Then between 2 and 6, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm so ashamed, but it's just anyway. So she comes in and she gives me this bad boy, and it's like a Pro. I'm sure she won't mind, and I'm still kicking the arse out of this one. So this is in fact for 2 days ago actually, and it's still gone. But anyway, you're talking about my schedule, mate. So when I came back from my honeymoon in the Maldives on the Wednesday, and I started back 2 doors down on the Thursday and the radio. So what I was doing was doing the radio, right? Pre-recording the first wee sort of bit, doing the radio, finishing the radio, getting a lift for the radio to 2 doors down, filming till 7, and then that Monday to Friday, and then sometimes wrestling at the weekend. So I was so basically my day was like get up at 4, go to the radio station, do the radio, do 12 hours or 2 doors down. I sometimes did a podcast at night because I've got my Fitbit podcast and my wrestling podcast. Sometimes I was up for 4 in the morning till like 1 in the morning, 3 hours sleep and back up and do the same thing. That was for like 8 weeks. Then that finished and I started doing a program called Scotland's Greatest Escapes, where I go around the country and we try to find out the best escape. Different categories, so the luxury category, the budget category, the luxury category, the camps category, caravan category. And so when I was filming that, it's orange Scotland, man, it was like one location in Glasgow where the radio was. So I was like doing radio till 10 in the morning, driving to Aberdeen, then filming in Aberdeen, driving back to do the radio, then doing the radio the next day, then driving to Inverness, and driving back to Inverness, then doing the radio the next day, then going to Campbelltown, coming back, going to an island, and that, I hammered that for like another 8 to 10 weeks with some wrestling the weekend. And then I started Panto in November, and you know what that's like. That's just fucking you eat, sleep, and breathe Panto for like. You know, so it's just like so. Literally, this week has been apart from Christmas Day and New Year's Day. It's like I've had like 6 days off since I go back from my honeymoon. I mean, it's been mental, and you know what? I'm not complaining about it. It's the absolute best, but because you've got to do it, man. I'm so lucky. I feel so blessed that I get the opportunity to do this. I mean, get a chance to be on one of Scotland's best ever sitcoms, get a chance to go on the radio and talk shit every morning, talk about wrestling, day magic. You know, I mean, I'm very my podcast, talking to good guys like you. I'm a dad, so it is quite hard. I've got a 2-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old stepdaughter and a wife who I absolutely love. So, mate, I really am blessed, and I'm very thankful for the career that I've had for the last couple of years. But you know, it's always like you just need to keep going, man. You just need to keep going.
Do you know the great thing with you is, I don't know if you realise it yourself sometimes, but you have such a good way of connecting with an audience, whether it's wrestling, whether it's acting or radio. You just have this way of engaging with people and connecting. I mean, do you feel that yourself?
I think the reason why that is because you do a lot of people will say like you don't get me any other way. If you know what I mean, like what you see is what you get. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know, I'll talk to anybody. I don't know if that's maybe got something to do with it, is it? Because like I was always told that like something my character in wrestling was always like the guy who probably should be behind the barrier, but he's in the ring. It's kind of like that with acting as well. In the radio, it feels like I'm very much. It's people have said to me before. It's my naivety. Is that what you call it? No, I've got a naiveness. Is that what it is? No, that's no naivety. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word.
Sincerity?
No, there is a word. Shit. There's a word, man. Sorry, I think I suffer for. What do you call it? Vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
The vulnerability there, which I've been told. I don't know. So I mean, I don't know what but I think that's what it is what you see. Is what you get. You know, I go in an interview. The way I talk to you is the way I talk to my pals.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying other folk don't do that. You see, I don't know. Could it be that? I don't know. Am I talking shite?
No, you're not. And I was going to say, thank you so much, because genuinely, this has been one of my most enjoyable interviews that I've ever done.
Really?
I've wanted you on for a long time, and this is the most I've laughed in an interview. And it's,
well,
you know, thank you.
Can I just say something? I've really, really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much.
Nice. No, I really have enjoyed that. Like to hear, because I don't know. A lot of the time when I do interviews and stuff like that, it's always about the wrestling, or I don't actually do a lot of talking about 2 Doors Down. Like, and I love it because it completely changed my life. It's just I love talking about it, and you know, in the last 6 months I've been really, really hard dealing with the death of Simon Carlisle, which has been absolutely horrific. Like, which just came completely out of the blue. And we've all been struggling about it, but it's lovely to talk about the show because he created an absolute, I don't know, just an absolute, a machine, man. It's just shit hot, and it's so heartbreaking that he's not here anymore, man. I mean, it really, really is. That guy was everybody's character. Everybody, he came in and gave his notes in our ear, and it was very microscopic, the detail, but the detail that you got, you went, I get that. Wow. Oh, that's what I'm missing. Oh, that's how you did. Oh, that's what you wanted. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Like he fine-tuned everything. So, and as I say, like when I talk about, I remember sitting at my audition going, I've got him. Like I'll never ever forget that. And he always like gave me great advice and was always a big supporter. Amy, and it's horrible to think that somebody that heard your not had your back's not the right word, but somebody that cared about you and looked out for you and had a lot of belief. He had a lot of belief in me, and to think that this guy's not going to be here anymore, it's just so heartbreaking. So, hi, sorry, fucking.
He's left an incredible legacy.
You know what I mean?
The show seems to grow, and all the cast.
Did you watch that Carolina Hearn documentary?
It's what? Sorry.
Did you watch the Carolina Hearn documentary?
That was
similarities, man.
That was really heartbreaking.
Like, aye.
It was Craig. Is it Craig Cash? His when he got upset, that's when it kind of that got me.
I mean, the royal family was superb, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ricky Tomlinson, you can't beat it.
Man.
But honestly, Grado, thank you so much. I wanted this for a long time, and it's an interview I'm not going to forget. So thank you for giving me the opportunity today, because honestly, I do really appreciate that.
Lewis, thanks very much, mate. And if there's anything you ever need again, just let me know, man. And are you going to the wrestling convention? There it is.
Got my hat on. I'm buzzing for that.
Are you going to the convention in March?
Do you know what? I'm waiting for the lineup, because at the moment I know there's a pay-per-view with AEW, and that restricts those coming. But there's people like X-Pac at this one, and I've always wanted to meet him. So I'm torn.
Oh, X-Pac is the man.
You
know what? I'm not. I don't think they try and no book the same guys. Like, you know what I mean? But see, X-Pac, he is just the fucking man. I remember I tagged with him and Billy Gunn.
Wow.
And we done the whole deal where life is a mystery. Yeah. I came out, done like half of my entrance on the ramp, and then break it down, DX come out, and I was I was part of DX. Tremendous. Never tell you about the time I wrestled in a Rumble, and Billy Gunn was in the Rumble, right? And he came out to his D-Generation X music in the Rumble, right? This was a Rumble down in London. And what I done was I went into his bag, right? Took his trunks, with the lips, the lips, right? And he came out, so he comes out to the D-Generation X music. He cleans house, bam, bam, bam. And he's left, and it's only Bob Holly, Hardcore Holly, and Billy Gunn, right? And then the next guy's coming at 10, 9, 8.
Oh my God, ass man.
I'm an ass man!
No!
I come out, man, shaking my ass. Mate, it's one of my highlights in wrestling.
Did he know that you were going to do that?
No. How cool is that?
What was his reaction? Were they
Mate, the two of them were pissing themselves.
Were they the pink trunks?
I think they were, aye, the pink ones. I'm an ass man. Came out superb, man.
No way. I tell you what, you've got some stories. Like the way you just throw that one out there.